We almost lost the studio and we had a lien on the studio for like, I want to say about 4 months where I took out all these bad loans and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't care if I have to pay for it myself because I am working a job. I literally paid 2 or 3 months on my own and allowed the studio to grow from it. We were able to pay off our loans within some 6 months.
Reintroduce yourself. You did wonderfully.
Okay, awesome. My name is Thomasina Jones. I am the owner and artistic director of Revamp Contemporary Dance Company. We are located in Greensboro, North Carolina, and we have come upon our 13th season. With that, one of my favorite things about being a studio owner is being able to allow other brown girls, just like me, experience things that I didn't get to experience when I was a kid. So that's one of my favorite things, is the exposure of it all.
Love that. So let's go back to when you first opened your doors. What was the one thing that you think really inspired you or motivated you? Was there like a conversation or a moment where you're like, I'm gonna go do this thing. I'm gonna open up my own studio?
One thing that kind of inspired me was I go to church and I went to church one day and I was like, I know I love kids because I was brought up with kids. My mom is a retired school teacher, but then I also love dance. And so I went to church one day. I saw this young lady. She was classically trained beautifully as a dancer, but it then clicked like, okay, wow, I can actually take what I'm doing already, which is the love of dance. And I saw her dance with kids. And I know I've seen that many, many times, but for some reason, it just clicked on that day that, wow, I can bring the two things I love together, which is kids and dance. So I could, because I primarily focus on kids and not necessarily adults. So it kind of just rang the bell like, wow, I could actually do that forever.
Yeah, amazing. And so like I think that's where a lot of student owners can relate with is definitely like the impact and the passion that they see. For you, when it comes to the business side of things, was there a moment where the finances, the profit, the business stuff, did that exist or was that even at the forefront at the very beginning? Or was there something that eventually where you're like, this is a good, this matters too?
So at the very beginning, I literally, because I was a performer before, so before I even started the studio and had the idea of a studio, I started performing, getting some work under my belt, choreography, experience, networking, things like that. So when I actually officially decided to do those things, finances was not necessarily my first idea. Of course, it quickly came upon my thought process once we started, but at the beginning, it was not a part of my thought process. All I wanted to do was, even if I had to volunteer, was to teach dance. That's literally, I had no plan. I just said, I'm starting it. Let's go. So I went to school for dance to officially get my degree. And after I did that, that's when I officially opened up in 2013. Now, I will say I was fortunate to be connected to people in my church that allowed me to use their building for the start of this. Kind of allowed me to save up money to be able to get my own studio space about it was like 6 or 8 months later.
Amazing. And now we're getting into the business side. Like you've got your own space, like you got to start. What were some of the things that you were doing at the time to get the word out and to really grow and get in front of more parents in your community?
So I'll say the first 2 or 3 years, we were heavy on word of mouth, heavy on word of mouth. And I think because at that time in 2013, social media really, it was there, but it wasn't the main catalyst for a lot of my families coming in. I had a lot of connections to the community because I still did performances.
Yeah.
I still was choreographing, doing workshops and things like that. So with that being said, I didn't have to work as hard because a lot of people were like, oh yeah, I know this girl that dances and she has a studio. So it kind of worked for me. Not until right before COVID and even after COVID, which really is where it kind of told me the truth, is how much I did not advertise my business on social media. So I think that's when it got really tough for me. Maybe year 3 or 4. That's when it really got tough.
That was the biggest wake up call for so many of us in
Yes.
more ways than one. Like that was just, it was brutal. It really decimated all brick and mortar business, just like everything. Like it was, I think that was a big wake up call for a lot of us and it
Yeah.
just revealed a lot of things,
Mhm.
yeah. Whew. Man, I can't
Yeah.
even fathom. Like we went through that. Like oh my, like we went through
Right
it. What?
before COVID hit, we were so healthy. At least I thought we were healthy. And we were strong at that time. I had a good, strong 50 kids. And that was just off of pure conversation. After COVID is when I realized that the struggle was there of one, I didn't realize how terrible I was with social media. Um, and then number two, I realized that I didn't do as much networking as I thought. It was more truly a word of mouth of people that knew me. And so that's when I realized, like, okay, I need some help.
Mm.
I need some help.
Yeah, so it sounds like the pandemic revealed a lot of things about the
Mhm.
business, and one of them maybe being some of the systems that really helped contribute to the growth. Like what worked at one
Absolutely.
point could not be relied upon going forward. And how
Yep.
do you like overall, like what's your general feeling with the rate of how quickly technology is changing? Because it seems like every day there's like a whole new thing.
I have to stay on my toes. One of the things I'm so grateful for is that I'm able to pivot when needed. And thank God I am semi-tech savvy where I'll figure it out and I'll like find me a YouTube link or Google it or something like that. I do my best to try to figure it out because like the generations behind me are like moving way faster. And what I don't want to do is lose out on an opportunity just for my selfishness of not wanting to change. So I had to learn how to pivot and be confident in what I decide and learn how to fail in those pivots so I can make successful decisions.
Love that. Yeah, you're one of the ones of our clients that I think that learning curve shows for you because you really make the system. You're like in it,
Yeah,
making it do what you need to do for the business, and I really love
yeah,
that about you. You get very creative with your ideas, and like you put systems at the forefront too, and you mold
yeah,
the technology to make it fit what you're looking for too, which is
yeah.
amazing. And so at the time, the social media, you were realizing social media is not happening, advertising not happening. I need some help. Like, what next? Like, where? How did you search for that help, and what help did you end up getting?
There was no group that allowed me to not only be myself but understand my true needs. Sometimes some of them were too big to where I felt like I was getting lost in the sauce, and then some of them were not advancing me where I needed to be. So I couldn't find that fit until I found you guys. And I love the family that I have at DMM. I love that everybody shares information at DMM, and not even just sharing the information; they're willing to share the information. I mean, like I remember posting something in the group and I'm like, I need help with this. I mean, they came in running to help me. And I just looked back at my notifications. I was like, wow, three people have already responded in like 15, 20 minutes. And it was crazy. So I love the openness that we have, the family that we have. And even the people that I can't even tell you their names, I know their faces. I still feel like family to them because they don't care that it may not remember my name. It's the fact that we are connected at one purpose, and that's to be great at what we do. And that's my favorite part of DMM.
We got a good fam. We got a good fam. Well,
Yeah, I
next
love
time I'm
it.
up in North Carolina, we're gonna be getting another dinner together. Once
Absolutely.
Awesome. And so what were your initial expectations? You found Dance Motion Marketing. You were like, hey, I'm gonna get some help with the advertising side of things. What were your expectations going into it? And how does it compare now that you've been a client for several years?
So my expectations, I really didn't have any, and the reason being is because I know you guys could have done better than me. So so honestly, I was just happy to be able to give that responsibility to somebody else that knows what they're doing, they know the system, and put that trust in somebody else. Because I've trusted people before, and not saying that they let me down, but it wasn't my expectations of what should be happening. So this time I came in with no expectations, only to learn and to figure out what I need to do on my end to make sure we're a success. And that's basically how I came in. But now it's like I'm asking questions right off the rip. And even if I don't know the answer right then and there, or I'm confused, I am okay with asking again or following up with somebody, the email process or and somebody else in DMM. So I'm more comfortable with not only sharing, but being able to learn and pick and choose what I can learn from and who I can learn from. So I think those are the differences where I come in with nothing and no expectations because I wanted to work. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to work. And then now I'm like, okay, I know it's working. What can I do to make sure it continues to work?
Love that. Tell me a little bit about what that growth has looked like, and feel free to be real because we know growth is not a straight line up. Sometimes there's some slow seasons and everything in between, but like give us a real,
Yep.
where like you started, I think, after the pandemic, there was like 50 students, but I'd love to hear in terms of like number count, but then also just the seasons and like just how does growth
Yeah.
look like now having DMM as a partner in the business?
So I will be real. The first time I was with you guys, I took a plunge and I was like, let's go for it. I'm going to try it. You guys came in full fledged, but I was not ready for the numbers that y'all brought in. So that let me know there was a systems problem on my end with how I enrolled, the follow up, all the things. I had to leave for, I think I left for about a year or so. And then I came back and basically haven't left since. I started strong and I felt like the numbers were there. We got back healthy again, but then we failed. It was just like up and down, up and down. We even went through a whole year where I took out all these bad loans and I'm like, oh my gosh, we almost lost the studio. And we had a lien on the studio for like, I want to say about 4 months. We had a lien on the studio. And thankfully, I just again took a plunge and tried it again. And within, I want to say when I came back, I say within 6 months, we paid off the lien. So we didn't have a lien again. Yeah, I
Wow.
didn't broadcast that at
I had no
all.
idea.
Yeah, we had our, yeah, it was like, I want to say when I started back with you guys, it was $14,000 that we had to pay back.
Wow.
And we were like slowly but surely, but not fast enough. But we finally, when we got our systems in place, this is over 2 years. So the first year we had to like quit and build up our systems and build our momentum back. When we came back, I was like, I'm going to stay. I don't care if I have to pay for it myself because I am working a job. And so after working a job, I was like, okay, no matter what, I'm going to stick with DMM because I know it's proven to work. But once I stuck to it and I literally paid 2 or 3 months on my own and allowed the studio to grow from it. We were able to pay off our loans within like, it was like 6 months or something like that. Yeah. It didn't take us long.
That is
It didn't take,
freaking
yeah.
cool. I had no idea. Like I'm hearing this for the first time, and
Yes.
that just gives me so much joy that you're able to get out of that. Because there's
Mhm.
a weight and oppression and anxiety that probably just exists there lingering, knowing that there's these debts that need to be paid off.
Oh my goodness. And that's not including the regular, I got to pay my staff. They are looking for me to pay them every 2 weeks. Like it was certain things I knew I had to do, but then I had to get this off because like it was hard for me to also make money because they're taking everything out. And it was just so many moving parts with that. And I was just so blessed to be able to get the kids in, get these things off of our back. And we're not 100% debt free, but the lien is taken off. We paid that off and we're working on other debts now.
Good for you. Good for you.
Mhm.
So, putting yourselves in the shoes, I think a question that kind of comes up because I love that you were real about this
Yeah.
because getting the marketing, getting the leads is just one part of the equation. Like it got to the point where it overburdened your systems. And like, if there's someone thinking like, what systems do I need to have ready before I can take full advantage of this? Like, what was that? What did you feel like? What did you learn in that process? And what advice would you have for a studio owner on what should be there? Like, how much I ask this? Basically, like, what did you learn from that moment? And what advice would you give for someone else so they can lean into that kind of thing without having to like have that oh crap moment? I got to go fix this first.
So my focus was think preventative. So one of the things that I always do anytime I create any new system is, okay, so what if it goes wrong? So I always have a backup plan for the backup plan for the backup plan. So that's across the board for any system that I use. The second thing I would say is delegate. Be okay to delegate. One of the things that I found was I overextended myself because I was trying to do everything. I was trying to be everything to everybody all the time, and that does not work realistically. The third thing is, well, along with that delegation, trust your staff. You hired them for a reason. Why pay them if you're not going to utilize every gift and talent that they have? So those are my three top. But one I would like to add is when you're looking at your systems, anytime I'm doing my systems, I always take it through a test funnel first. So for example, if it's a lead follow-up, I act as if I'm that lead. And if I have a funnel that I'm using for 2 months, I'm getting those texts and emails to make sure that they're working and it makes sense. Is it too soon to text this person back? Do I need more time or is it too late? It's kind of one of those things. Do I add tags or wait, hold on. If this is going in this direction, should I be asking this question instead? So I use myself as a true inquiry or a test and then sometimes I love my husband. He is amazing. He is another tester. He will act as a parent and he'll go through the system because he is not tech savvy. So when he goes through it, if he can fill out the form, if he can create whatever I need the parents to do, then I know it's good to go. If he has trouble, then I'm like, okay, let me scale it back. What can I do to help those that are not tech savvy?
Love that. Being a secret shopper will save
Yeah,
you. I love to do it all the time. Like I think testing is such a big part of marketing and anything because when you put yourself in the shoes of a parent, you're gonna realize
absolutely.
we can tweak some things here and there. Like we can, and there's all these
Absolutely.
little refinements that can lead to more results as well.
Yep.
Where are you at currently in the season, like student wise? What are some of your goals that you're looking ahead towards?
So my small goal was to hit 75. I felt that I was ready for that number, and I guess the universe did too because they came. So I definitely hit my first goal. My second goal was 85. I just hit that. So my big goal was to perform at the recital with 100 kids. Not 100% sure if I'm going to perform with 100 kids, but I can see with mini sessions and small things, I can see me possibly getting to 100 with the mini session that I might have because we are now a 12-month program, which it opened up a lot of opportunities for me to be able to offer 6 week, 8 weeks, and progress my kids faster. So without waiting for the end of the season. So with those moving parts, I feel that even though we may not have the recital 100 dancing students, I can see me having 100 dancing students by August
Let's go.
enrolled in the program altogether.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Love that. All
Yeah.
right. I hit that triple digit number and I cannot wait to celebrate
Yeah,
once
yeah,
it's
yeah.
there.
I was so nervous. I don't know what it was. I think it was all me. Everybody else was like, "I want 100 kids for you. I want," and I'm like, "No, I think I'm good with the 75 and 85." Like, but now that I have proper systems in place and like I have my policies and procedures. I meant to mention that earlier. My
Mm.
policies and procedures. When I set the tone for expectations from the beginning, it normally is smooth sailing with all my parents. I do a new parent orientation that everybody has to go to. It is a requirement that I get to meet one-on-one with the parent, but I also get to answer any questions that they have. The meeting is normally 30, 45 minutes, unless it's an hour if they have questions, but it's like a conversation I get to have with them. So that keeps them involved. I get to let them sign up for volunteering during recitals and events and things that we have going on. And it also doesn't get them confused on what's happening. Like right now, we're in recital season. So right now, everything's going fast. So if I'm not talking to one-on-one, they may miss some information.
Hmm.
So new parent orientation, along with another funnel that I have for them, it kind of gets them up to date with where the studio is. And when I did that, and I was able to like address any concerns or policies and procedures that I had in place, once I was able to do that, I found that the culture has changed. Everybody is more dedicated. I see the engagement of the parents because that's one thing I do talk about is engagement of parents. I see them volunteering, doing different things during the season that I'm like, wow, I wish I would have had this a few years ago. So setting those things help the studio grow not only in number but grow as a unit. So I think the
Yeah.
culture has changed also.
That's amazing. And I was just, sharing, I had an interview with another client last week and, she started a business with a lack of policies, procedures, boundaries. And it got to a moment where, the tension of I'm here to try to please a small group of parents, but it's doing a disservice to the rest of them. And she had to go through and like created them. And then when she rolled them out and enforced them, she had some families leave, which
Yeah.
was really hard. But now, years later, with great expectation setting and a new culture, like she's like, I love every family and they get it and they're
Yeah.
plugged into the community
Yeah.
and it
Yeah,
is,
so I've always thought of the idea of pain now, pleasure later, or pleasure now, pain later. So if I'm pleasing you now, I'm going to be a pain later. So let me be painful right now to myself to say I'm gonna stand up to you and say no to you, and then I'll be happy later on because I'm not going to have that stress. We won't have to have that conversation anymore. Or you get on the train or you get left, kind of thing. So yeah.
yeah, and it takes courage to do that, but
It does. Oh my goodness. And sometimes I'm like, I'm talking out of my mouth, but like in my heart, I'm over here like cringing because I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to say this, but I have to. I have to.
yeah, yeah. Well, doing it, I mean, the road of business ownership is not for everyone, and the way you lead with heart and your head, it shows in the community that you're building for
Yep.
sure. So as we wrap up here, I would love to hear, like, to the outsider looking in, how would you describe DMM and all that's involved with it?
I would describe DMM not only as a family, but they're leaders to us. And a leader to me is someone who is not only giving us information, but you guys are learning from us. I can't tell you how many times that you guys have come in the chat and say, "Hey, what's your opinion?" Or if we give you an opinion, you guys actually take the feedback and you apply it. I know at one time there we have our our weekly meetings, and you guys had asked about subjects to talk about. Lo and behold, we have the amazing Monet doing our meetings, and she literally hit the ground running. She holds us accountable for what we say, and she makes sure that the job gets done. So it's like you guys don't expect us to be perfect, and we don't expect you guys to be perfect, but you guys definitely strive for like much more than we thought just a marketing company would allow us to be able to have. So to me, from outside looking in, I would say there's no limit to anything that is possible in DMM. Because if you give them an idea, if they can't do it, they're gonna daggone find out how to do it. And I love that's my favorite part.
Oh man, I appreciate that. That is so nice to hear. Well, we've honestly, it's such a joy having you
Yeah.
at the community, and we're excited to hang out in person very
Yeah.
soon. And you're going to
Yes,
Chicago, right?
yes. I'm
Yes.
excited. I've gotten everything like to the T. I got my days. I got my people. I already got my days with my teachers teaching my classes. I said I am going to be gone, cutting it off. Can't wait.
It's going to be a blast.